Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your girl, Miss Ish. Today is Taco Tuesday, and we're going to be making Navajo tacos. Back at home, we call them Indian fry bread. You can get them at the fair. I'm going to show you different ways to make them, different sizes, and different toppings. You're always more than welcome to tweak those ingredients. Let's get started. So to prepare my fry bread, I have one large bowl. Now the main ingredients you're going to need is some flour, baking powder. You're going to need salt. I'm going to use sea salt. I have some black beans, some ground turkey, some cheese I'm going to shred, a bag of classic coleslaw mix instead of cutting my own lettuce up. I have a couple tomatoes and some taco seasoning. First thing I'm going to do is get the flour and baking powder inside the bowl with a little bit of sea salt and get everything mixed up as if you're making pizza dough. We'll be right back. So if you notice, I went ahead and put 1 cup of flour inside the bowl, depending on how many you're going to make. Usually when I make these, they come out to about 15 or 20, from large to medium to little bitty miniature ones. I'm just going to be doing about 4 or 5 today, and I'm just going to show you guys just a quick way of how to get the dough together. So I'm going to put 1 more cup full of the flour. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of the salt. It's up to you how much salt. You know, flour doesn't have any seasoning, so I just want to make sure that once I fry them, I don't need to do anything else. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead with the baking powder, and you can put at least up to a teaspoon or 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to actually pour it in, just eyeball everything. Okay. And now the next thing I'm going to do is just mix it up a little bit. Add just a little bit more salt. And now we're going to get a little liquid in here and start getting it mended together. So now that we have the mix all together on the cutting board, if you notice, I have a little flour just to make sure that nothing sticks. The next thing I'm going to do is just take the big ball that I went ahead and mixed together, and I'm just going to place everything on top of the cutting board. The next thing I'm going to do is actually just start mending it together more. You can add flour as you go depending on how sticky it's getting. I'm just going to keep mending this for about 2 or 3 more minutes. Then it will be time to actually start getting these formed into our balls. Now that we have our ball formed and we've let the baking powder and the flour with the sea salt kind of blend in together, now we're just going to start tearing this apart into depending on the size you want. Okay, so I'm just going to take a small amount and just start flattening out as if you were making tortillas or if you were going to make pizza. One of the forms that I do, I'll just do it, let me move it over a little bit, just kind of like so. So this would be more for like a child, somebody that, you know, you don't want to give a super big one to, and still can put all the toppings on here. Or you can just continue to press it out more and then just continue to stretch it out. Just continue to flip it over. If it tears, it's okay. It's just dough. So then we'll just move this to the side. We're going to put a little bit of more flour on top of the cutting board. I'm going to take a couple more pieces, just tear them apart. And the reason that I'm going to do them this size is because I can eat about 2 or 3 of these and it'll still add up to 1 large one. But we're just going to do about 4 or 5 this way. And I'm making the bread up now, and I'll fry a couple just to show you what it looks like. But this will be for dinner tonight. Now if you notice, this one is a little bigger, so we have a small one, kind of medium to small, and then I'll make a couple large ones as well. So now that I have all of my fry breads to the way I want them, you see I have some small ones, medium, and I have a couple large ones. I'm going to go ahead now and get the grease on and show you guys how to get them fried. Now that the grease is hot, let's go ahead and start getting them inside. Now that we have 3 of the Navajo taco breads inside the copper shelf, we're just going to let these cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. If you can notice they're starting to swell up. So that's way you know it's going to be time to flip them soon. You want to turn them when they're going to be a complexion or the color that you want them to be, a nice golden brown, as light or as dark as you like it. Either way it go, it's going to be crispy. So we're going to let these finish on this side and then get them turned over. Okay, so if you notice, they're starting to have a nice brown color to them. So I'm going to leave them in there for about 1 more minute. That is pretty much the color I want it to be right there. I'm going to flip this one more time. And now we're just going to get ready to turn the stove off and remove these from the fire. Get them placed on some paper towel. We're going to let these sit and drain for about 2 minutes. And then I'm going to get the toppings together and we'll be right back when it's time to plate. Now that my fried bread is cool, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple ways to get these set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and with some black beans. You're more than welcome to use refried beans. I'm just going to take these black beans and put them on top of one. You can put as much or as little as you want. I'm going to go ahead now with some meat. Add a little bit of the meat on top. Okay, you can add as much as you want, like I said. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead with some of the shredded cabbage. Get that on top. We're going to get some of the tomatoes and the cheese on top. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is take the other one. Now you can tweak these any way you want. If you want to just put regular powdered sugar on them, what I'm going to do with the small one is actually put a little bit, before I put the brown cinnamon sugar, I'm going to add just a little touch of honey on top. Okay, then I'm going to add just a little bit of the powdered sugar. Now, one of my favorite ways to eat these is just plain with nothing on them. So, let's just show you the finished product. And these are my Navajo tacos. And hopefully you guys will like them. Make them yourself. If you do, please leave a comment at the bottom. Please share, like, and subscribe. And let's go ahead now and see what they taste like. Now, most people go in just like me, just like a tostada, just eat it. If you're trying to be fancy, go on and get your knife and your fork and cut it. But I'm going to just take a bite and see what it tastes like. That's very good. The Navajo taco is cooked just the way I want it. It's crispy. It's golden brown. Those beans are bomb on there with that meat. You can put sauce on here. Like I said, you can do anything you want. Now, let me go ahead and try the sweet one. I'm going to just break this with my finger. If you can see all that goodness just running over, I'm going to just dip that in there. Has a nice crunch. That honey is bomb on there because it's still warm. And like I said, you can always put whatever you want. This is just my little example of how to make Navajo tacos for Taco Tuesday. Please share, like, and subscribe. And until next time, take it easy.